Welcome to another episode of NACIC Bible Stories. Today's story is one of heartbreak, pain, and incredible faith. Imagine for a moment you've done everything right. You've always told the truth, shared your toys, helped your friends, and prayed every night. But suddenly, everything goes wrong. Your bike breaks, your dog runs away, your friends stop talking to you, and even your body feels sick and tired. Would you still trust God? Well, that's exactly the kind of life Job had to face. And trust me, his story will leave you thinking, how did he make it through? So sit back, relax, and get ready, because this is one of the most powerful stories in the Bible. A story that shows us what it really means to say, I know that my Redeemer lives. Job was an extraordinary man. The Bible tells us he was blameless and upright. He feared God and stayed away from evil. Job had a big family, 7 sons and 3 daughters. He also had thousands of animals, sheep, camels, oxen, and donkeys. Job was one of the richest people in the land of Uz. But most importantly, he loved and obeyed God with all his heart. But one day, everything changed. Far above, in heaven, God was speaking with his angels when someone unexpected showed up, Satan. He had been roaming the earth. God asked him, "Have you seen my servant Job? There's no one like him on earth." Satan replied, "Well, of course Job worships you. You've given him everything, riches, happiness, protection. Take it all away, and he'll curse you to your face." So God allowed Satan to test Job. But there was one rule: Satan could not harm Job himself. Then disaster struck. One messenger ran to Job and said, "Your oxen and donkeys were stolen, and your servants killed." Before he could finish, another rushed in. Fire fell from the sky. It burned up all your sheep and shepherds. Another messenger came. Your camels were taken by enemies. And then, the worst news of all. A fourth messenger arrived. His face was pale. Your sons and daughters were eating together when a mighty wind struck the house. It collapsed. They're gone. Job was crushed. He tore his clothes in grief. He shaved his head and fell to the ground. But instead of getting angry, Job said something amazing. "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." Still, Satan wasn't done. He told God, "Sure, Job didn't curse you, but if you take away his health, he will." God agreed, but Job's life had to be spared. Then, Job was struck with terrible sores from head to toe. He was in so much pain that he sat in ashes, scraping his skin with broken pottery. Even his wife said, "Are you still holding on to your faith? Just curse God and die." But Job replied, "Shall we accept only good from God and not trouble?" 3 of Job's friends came to visit, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. When they saw how sick and sad Job looked, they didn't say a word. They just sat with him in silence for 7 days. Then Job finally spoke. His voice was shaky. His heart was broken. "Why was I even born?" he cried. "Why didn't I die as a baby?" Job was in deep pain. He didn't understand why this was happening. He hadn't done anything wrong. He felt forgotten, alone, and crushed by sadness. His friends tried to explain it. They said, "Maybe you did something bad. God must be punishing you." But Job knew he hadn't sinned. He began to argue back. He even questioned God. "Why are you letting this happen? Where are you?" He was desperate, angry, hurt. He wanted answers. And then, in the middle of his pain, Job said something beautiful, something full of hope and faith. He said, "I know that my Redeemer lives, and that in the end he will stand upon the earth." Even in his sadness, Job still believed. Even when he didn't understand, he held on to hope. He trusted that God would rescue him one day. He believed that there was life beyond the pain. Job believed in something amazing. He believed in resurrection. That's right, long before Jesus came to earth, Job believed that God would bring life from death, healing from pain, and victory from suffering. Later, God spoke to Job out of a storm. God didn't give Job every answer, but he reminded Job who he was, the creator of the world, the maker of all things. And Job realized something important. Even though he didn't understand everything, he could still trust God. Because God was wise, God was powerful, and God was still with him. Job said, "I spoke of things I did not understand, things too wonderful for me to know." In the end, God restored everything to Job. He gave him double what he had lost: more sheep, more camels, more oxen, more donkeys, and 10 more children. Job lived a long, happy life. He saw his children, and their children, and their children's children. He never forgot what he had been through. But more than anything, he never forgot these words. I know that my Redeemer lives. So what can we learn from Job? First, even good people can suffer. Job did nothing wrong, but bad things still happened. That doesn't mean God stopped loving him, and it doesn't mean God stops loving us when things go wrong. Second, it's okay to feel sad or ask questions. Job was honest with God. He cried. He complained. He asked why. And that's okay. God wants us to talk to him, even when we're upset. Third, Job never gave up. He held on to his faith. He believed that God was alive. He trusted that God would rescue him. Just like Job, we can say, I know that my Redeemer lives. Because Jesus died and rose again, we know our Redeemer lives. He is alive. He is with us. And one day, he will wipe away every tear. There will be no more sadness, no more pain, and no more evil. Through faith in Jesus, we already share in that new life. Even when the world feels broken, we can be sure God wins. And if our Redeemer lives, then we have hope, no matter what we face. Let's say it together. I know that my Redeemer lives. Keep believing, keep trusting, and always remember, your Redeemer lives. Thanks for joining us on this episode of NACIC Bible Stories. We'll see you next time with more stories that bring the Bible to life, just for you. Till we meet again, stay safe and be blessed.